Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. This is the last Rusted Garden Tour show for 2025. I'll be starting seeds indoors for 2026. If you want to subscribe and follow along, and that season's really going to start towards the end of December, January. Today, I just wanted to go through real quick, use the timestamps to jump around, give you a tour of the garden as it is first week of December, and just talk about, a couple of things for the end of the year, really. I've done a lot of videos on putting the beds to rest, collecting the seeds. I will link them in the video description if you want to check those out. But it's just going to be a quick tour. And then the second half of the video is all about the Homestead wedding we had in October. My son got married. We set up, really it took us probably 3 months planning to set up the property for the wedding, and it went perfectly, start to finish. So I just want to give you some highlights of how it went and how we transformed the garden over. So let's get started with a tour of the garden. As of today, December 6th, we've had, a good week, 10 days of temperatures below freezing, lower 20s, -2, -3 Celsius. So things have all been pretty much knocked out. Well, actually, all the warm weather crops are knocked out. But I wanted to show you what we grew in these. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pepper plants in this space. Really prolific. Didn't even harvest all of them. I do this every year. Come spring, I'll fill this back up with compost, maybe some organic granular fertilizer. It doesn't need a whole lot. And I'm gonna keep planting 8 to 10 pepper plants in here. And one of the things I recommend is, experiment and then stick with what works. Growing the peppers in here have been, outstanding for the last 3 years, maybe 4 years. So I'm gonna continue with that. Blueberries look good. They got fed with a water-soluble acidic fertilizer about a month ago. I usually do that in the spring, and in the fall that helps acidify the soil and helps them just better pull in nutrients. And when you're acidifying soil, you're not worried about going down a foot, 2 feet, 3 feet deep or getting all the way over here. You're just going around the base, that top 8, 10 inches of the plant. That's where blueberries have a lot of their roots. The roots actually match to where their canopy goes out. So you go straight down and you would just water in around the size of the canopy so that you get those shallow roots. And that helps them, again, pull in the nutrients that they need. Here's another growing space. This was 6 jalapeno peppers in here. I've collected seeds from them. 4 bell peppers, actually 6 bell peppers. Let me see if I got that right. Yeah, so that's 12 plants. And this is a humongous beet that I'm gonna harvest soon. I thought it was Swiss chard. It's just been growing really, really well. Parsley survives the frosts. It's a biennial, so it's looking to flower. Strawberries are doing, okay. They're hibernating. This is where I've left my garden for making those videos a couple weeks ago. Slowly pulling out the spent plants. I'm gonna be collecting more seeds for the shishitos and stuff like that. But this is an area where I didn't get to yet, to putting the beds to rest, which, maybe is a good place to just talk about. If you didn't get to put your beds to rest in some of the ways that I've recommended or other people have recommended, you can wait. There's no great loss. I cut my plants now. The earth here in these beds is good enough so I don't turn it. You don't have to turn your beds once the soil's pretty good. So I just cut everything to ground level. And if you can, just throw some leaves. You can't really get any grass now. It's not growing here in Maryland, but I have my tractor mower out for picking up leaves that are still falling. Just get some organic matter on there and they're gonna be okay. Worms will eat the organic matter, loosen up the soil. Even when it's cold, there's still activities there. But you don't have to over worry about it. Like, these will get cleared out. I'll probably pull out the blackberries when they go a little bit more dormant and move them somewhere else. You can transplant them now in the late fall and even winter. And then I'll take care of these beds, no worries. Cleared out a strawberry bed in there, working on that one. And you get the idea. This is pretty much where I started taking care of the beds. This one has been taken care of with alfalfa, wood ash, organic compost. Well, it's all organic compost, and organic matter is what I wanted to say. Is just getting those leaves on top really makes a difference. I'll be cutting back all of my asparagus soon, pulling out the peppers in there. But it's the end of the year, and it was a really good season. It worked out a little bit better than I thought. There were some rough patches with me getting burned out, but everything just really, really produced. The tomatoes that came out of here, these were highlighted in the video. All these beds are set up. Come spring, I'll just move the mulch out of the way, dig a hole, put in my tomato transplant. That's what I'll be growing, probably starting in, let's say March. I don't grow them as long indoors as I used to anymore. They're just gonna get dropped in there and let go. Again, they've grown really well, 9 plants in these 3 beds. I'm not gonna change it up. Built these beds, I am changing the design of the garden. I have a grandson now, Austin. He will be in a lot of the videos. We're gonna do a little series, Austin in the Garden. And I'm going to be actually kind of filing down the corners so that he doesn't fall and get hurt. Hopefully he doesn't fall at all. But I'm gonna really make this space here a little bit safer for a toddler to be. And this is where he's gonna plant. That's the plan anyway. Now, maybe it'll be somewhere else in the garden, but I'm really excited for that. This is a design that didn't make it to a video, but you just get C-clamps from the electric department at Home Depot, and then you put in your 1/2-inch PVC, and you can just slide this up and down. Why is that important? You can slide this down further, bring the top closer to the ground. That helps keep warmth in better if you want to grow. I have spinach coming up in there. I'll probably put some plastic over it, but spinach overwinters well here in Maryland, and I'm really growing it for next year. But again, I can raise and lower my PVC by just using these C-clamps. I just give it a pull and it raises. And that would be like as you're growing broccoli or cauliflower maybe, and it's getting bigger, you want to raise the canopy of your cover. So that's just a nice way to do it. The radishes in here probably won't make it unless I cover it. With the freezing temperatures, the radish bulbs are going to be freezing, so you're not going to get a whole lot out of there. All this has to get cleared out. I'm in no rush. And you can see, I kind of just left my garden where it's at. We are traveling a lot, going up to New Jersey, upper New Jersey, to see Austin. So the things that I'm deciding to neglect are things that can wait, and that's mostly the garden. Some nice radishes still in there too. There's still some great stuff to harvest. I have cabbage growing in there. That'll still be good for several weeks. All the tomatoes obviously got killed off with the frosts. These are all volunteers, so these are all gonna have to get cleaned up. Tomatoes will fall to the ground. The volunteers will be coming back. Choy, bok choy. Well, before we get over there, so definitely have a deer problem because the deer came in, got to my collards and stuff like that, and I still can't figure out how the deer gets in. Generally speaking, it's going after the easy stuff, but I'll have to figure that out for next year. I do have cauliflower over here, and it's just really too late for the cauliflower. It grew nicely. I don't even know if anything's forming. No, not yet. But even if it were, the leaves can take the frost and the freeze, but really the cauliflower and broccoli crowns can't. If they freeze, they get a little bit rubbery, they can die off. So, I'm gonna have to start those sooner next year. And one of the things that I do recommend is experiment with planting times from summer into your fall, late fall crops, because sometimes you have to start them middle of July, believe it or not, so that they get to full size before the heavy freezes come to your area. Pak choy looks pretty good. There are a couple pieces in there that I can take out, and I'll just be grabbing the last of what's in there. And I'm really looking for, deer damage signs, which I can see. Like that's been chewed down, the beets have been chewed out and get chewed down again. So there's one deer that figured out how to get in here, and I have to kind of just see how it's doing that so I can figure out how to stop it. It's jumping in from somewhere, but I don't know. I really just don't know where it's coming in from. This is also a great time to set up new trellises. I just put one in right in there, move different trellises around, and just shape the garden, get it to the best you can, and then let it go. Nothing bad's gonna happen with leaving stuff behind. It's gonna be a little bit more work in the spring, but you can always take care of it later. Half kind of fixed up. I'm good with that. We'll see if we get any warm days, 50, 60 degree days, I'll come out here and I'll continue to work on fixing up the garden. So let's spin around here, and then I'll just give you a quick look at what the space looks like now before I show you, the wedding video. The wedding was held right in here. So I'll show you how we set that all up. Everything was cleaned up. The space you're looking at now is where everybody walked in right through here. The welcoming table was set up here. Things were in bloom, and it turned out to be a really nice day. It was like lower 70s, sunny. The night got a little bit cold, but we purchased blankets, we had heaters. It really turned out nicely. This was the area where we had appetizers and drinks. We left up the lights. It looked really cool. Last night it snowed, the snow melted, but with the lights on and the snow falling, it was really beautiful. Had a little bar and beverage station set up under the gazebo. Different tables set up here. And again, the appetizers. And then right in that space was the tent and the reception. So let me show you what it looked like. Because in the videos, there's music playing, it becomes a copyright issue. So it's just gonna kind of be background music and maybe me speaking a little bit here and there, but I think you'll get the picture. The wedding just turned out beautifully. It couldn't have turned out better. Before we tour the garden, I want to show you this area. This is where the guests are going to come. They're going to come up the driveway and then walk into the event right through here. So I've been working on this space. Been taking care of the roses with sprays to keep the fungus and molds off them. Fed them. This is another rose that I cut back pretty harshly to hopefully get it to bloom. It's beautiful pink flowers. That is one of Ashlyn's favorite colors. Hard to find pink flowers now, lots of yellow. I did manage to grow some cosmos that are in different places. But the guests are gonna walk up the driveway. The hose will be gone, of course. And this is what they're gonna see as they come up. So the whole side is decorated with flowers. Idea again is the timing so that they're all blooming as people are coming up here. We have lights along the picket of the fence, they're all solar. They're on, not timers, but as soon as it gets dark, they're gonna turn on. This space is still be planted up a little bit. Whole key again, lots of fertilizer, lots of deadheading. And why do I keep stressing that? That's really the best way to manage the blooms if you're gonna have the event and you want things to be really looking beautiful. So manage the blooms. Pink zinnias, these will get cut back today, and that's what I've been doing. You can see all the blooms that are going to be here. Zinnias do get powdery mildew. I can see, actually that's the spray that I put on them. So if you're growing zinnias or you're growing a lot of flowers, bee balm, etc., keep in mind they do get powdery mildew a whole lot. So you want to be spraying your flowers with an antifungal. Cosmos, this space looks pretty good. And then people again are going to be walking up the driveway, and then they're going to, get really immersed, I hope, into the flowers in these different spaces. The guests will be walking through here. There'll be the welcome table. The bride, just to finish up, is going to come out this way. This will all be cleaned up, of course. The chairs for the vows will be right here. And then straight back, we're cleaning up that area now, is going to be the setup for the ceremony. You can see a deer. There it is. See how good your eyes are. We're going to slowly walk in. The deer is right in the space where the ceremony is going to be held. But anyway, there's about 4 or 5 deer that live in this space. Ceremony is going to be right in here. And then, like, he doesn't even want to leave. You going to stick around for the wedding? All right. So we're going to cover. The axe throwing station will be cleaned up. My son and his fiance thought that would not be a good idea. This is the view the bride and groom will have. After we're done, we're all going to, leave the ceremony area, walk right up there, for the reception. Not sure how well this will turn out, but let's give it a try. Coming up the driveway, and we're going to turn into the center of kind of where the reception is. And the trees are lit up in different places. You get the idea. And coming right up here, it's where we'd have cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, and most of that it'll still be daylight. But as the evening progresses, this is what it's going to look like. The gazebo will be lit up. The tent, it's going to be way back there for the dinner and stuff. That will be lit up. but you get an idea of what we're working on over here. Here's some of the setup for the wedding pre-tablecloth. That's all going to happen tomorrow. This is where they're going to have drinks, hors d'oeuvres, and then we're all going to move out over to this way. There's the bar, a couple of heaters set up, and then the tent is right over here. I think it's looking really, really good. Perfect for the size of the wedding, the number of people. I think it looks really good. Well, I think I should show you too where the ceremony is going to be. We had a frost last night actually, but it only settled on the ground, so it wasn't cold enough to really damage any of those plants. Things are looking colorful. And then everything is going to start right down here. My daughter's going to be making flowers that will be hung right down there where the ceremony is going to be. But I think it looks great. And there'll be a carpet covering up the plastic right there. Day of the wedding, my daughter did all the flowers. Tablecloths are coming in. Great day, going to be 71 degrees. Things so far going smoothly. You see back there, that's where the ceremony is going to be. Hoping for the best. A quick look where the ceremony is going to be. Flowers are going to be going up soon. Just getting things set up. And then right over here is the rusted garden. Pumpkin patch intact. Hopefully people will be interested and want to get a tour in the garden. But I think it looks exactly like we really wanted it to be. I mean, the space is nice. And then we spin around this way. And I just want to show you, the tree did keep its color, so that's great. And this is the main reception area. And the flowers are coming out, everything's getting in place. Let's get in there so you can see a little bit better. And this is going to hold, I don't know, I think we're at like 65, 75 people. The tables are set up. My daughter did the flowers. I think it looks wonderful. A couple of hours, this place will be filled. Things are coming together nicely. Pretty soon the flowers will be out. A couple hours, people will be here. Just a couple last minute flowers have to be put up. People are getting their makeup on. No chaos, things are going smoothly. Here's a welcoming table. Really coming together, you know, as we planned. So far, so good. The universe is 14 billion years old. The Earth is 4.5 billion years old.